Ladies and gentlemen,
the biggest name.
You're locked into JJ and Alex. With the insight and analysis on the teams you can't live without. Presented by G2G Bars. This is 97.5, the KSL Sports Zone.
All right, everybody, welcome back. Oh, some Toto.
Oh, no. Whoa.
Sorry, men at work.
Whoa.
Sorry, men at work.
Yes, thank
My
you.
bad.
Thank you for the correction.
Sorry, my bad. I just know we were giving out Toto tickets earlier this week on Win Ticket Wednesday, right? Weren't we? But it wasn't Men at Work. It was also Toto. Oh, Toto, Men at Work, and Christopher Cross.
It's the same era.
Yeah.
Now, where do you draw the line? Is Men at Work really isn't yacht rock?
No.
Christopher Cross definitely is. Africa, Toto
Africa is phenomenal.
Debatable. Is it yacht rock? Is it not yacht rock?
I got it confused with
Michael McDonald. Has he ever collaborated with Toto?
I'm sure.
That would answer the question.
You. Have you watched any of that soft rock YouTube series before? It's really stupid.
Well, apparently
it's
there's a yacht rock documentary series on Max.
Oh, this is a fake documentary. This is a faux.
I've seen that.
It's really hilarious.
Yes, I have seen that.
And Toto is featured heavily in that.
Of course it is.
So
there's your answer
Men
to
at
your
Work,
question.
I don't know. I just love the idea of. And he just smiled and gave me a Vegemite sandwich.
So Toto's definitely yacht rock.
Men at Work is more of a. Yeah. You know what? These are the types of conversations that we need to have.
They're part of the 2025
they're
North
on the
American Yacht Rock Tour with
Christopher
Cross and Toto.
Yes.
I think we have to answer
and if
the
you
question
wanna,
is yes.
I know. If you want to
yes,
hit,
Men at Work is yacht rock.
And here's the thing. If you're Men at Work and you want to hitch your wagon to somebody right now, it's yacht rock, right?
Yacht rock is hot.
That's how we're going to get the kids back.
It's making a comeback.
I'm assuming my kids are going to start listening to more yacht rock. I mean, they're already going with the freaking baggy pants and stuff.
Exactly.
Let's go. I'm assuming it's going to. That's the new classic rock.
So your kids are going to show up. They got a Toto shirt from the bins.
Gosh.
When they went and got the secondhand clothes, and you're like, wait a minute, have you ever even heard Toto before? And they're going to be like, what? It's like my kids wearing Nirvana shirts.
Well, initially we didn't know if we were going to be able to get Thurl Bailey right now, but I've just been told that everything's good, and it looks like they're going to be able to jump on with him right now. And so our normal conversation we usually have with Thurl Bailey might be able to be a possibility right now. We're going to maybe punt it till next hour. But let's kick off the show as we always do. Our program brought to you by G2G Bars. All natural ingredients and no preservatives make the G2G Bar perfect for anybody who needs that quick, tasty, nutritious boost. So let's hit the cut right now. See if we can get Big T on here in just a moment. Let's do it with the cut. Let's jump in right here.
It's time for the biggest story of the day. This is what made the cut with JJ and Alex on 97.5, the KSL Sports Zone.
And joining us right now on the program, he is Big T Thurl Bailey. Our program, as always, this hour brought to you by Doug Smith and the Doug Smith family of dealerships. Thurl Bailey on the road. Big T, thanks for carving out some time, man. I know the travel schedule for you guys is a little bit wild this time of year, getting into Detroit. This is a fun matchup, though, for us, kicking things off. And this is a team that I feel like the Jazz could sneak into Detroit and get a nice win. Thanks for hanging out with us.
Hey, my pleasure, man. It's good timing, too. Just got here, just got to the hotel, and the climate is just a little bit different from L.A., so
that's quite a reality check when you step off that plane, huh, Big T?
Oh, man, no question about it. But I think you're right. Detroit kind of in the same boat in a way we are. I mean, Kate Cunningham's having a great year, but I think it's an opportunity for us to show what kind of, as Bowler would put it, bounce-back ability we have after we just kind of have that shellacking the other night.
Well, when you have games like that, the Jazz have had a couple of them over the past couple of weeks. They've also done they've had games where they've blown out teams, when they have these big nights. And obviously the disparity between one to the other is a tough thing to try to figure out. But on a young team, when you're trying to figure things out, that first quarter, I think that we've seen teams be able to climb out before after starts like that. But it's just so difficult when you get down 20, 25 points within minutes of the start of a game, and to have such a bad first quarter. And I know that Will Hardy was glad that his guys were able to fight back, but how difficult is it for a young group to be able to, pull yourself mentally out of a hole like that when you're in it that early and on the road?
It's tough. Look, I mean, I played 12 years in the league, and I understand about those kind of games because I was involved in some of those, especially when I went to Minnesota on a very young team. But the bottom line is that you've got to figure out how to garnish some kind of consistency in a game. So you're not digging that deep a hole for yourself. Because road games in itself are just hard. I mean, you're just in a totally different environment, a hostile environment, different surroundings, and it matters, And I think we've seen some really good things out of this Jazz team. We've seen the capability of being able to hang in there with teams, because what you really want, I talk about this all the time, is you want an opportunity, right? You want an opportunity to win the game. And if you're not in it and you're spending all that much energy and time trying to catch up or trying to find your own run, of course that Clippers game was over really after the
right.
third quarter. But I think that what you try to do, knowing and understanding what this team's trying to do, is you try to find the growth and the positive. And there's some things in there, but you got to show up. You got to start and give yourself a chance.
This December schedule is just brutal as you look at it. Thurl, in your time as a player or as a broadcaster in the NBA, do you ever remember having 11 road games out of 14? I mean, that's just insane. What's this? Because you're experiencing this right along with the players. What's this like? It really is. As a player, you just discover it's part of the business of basketball, of NBA basketball, and it's not all bad. Nothing against being at home, because you love being in your own bed and being around your family and stuff, but your focus is normally a lot better sometimes when it's just you and the team, and you're on a business trip, and you've got to focus on trying to come out individually and playing the best game you can, and collectively trying to find something that gives you a chance to win. So, it's not pretty. That's a lot of games to be away, especially during the holiday season. Jerry Sloan kind of liked that road swing during the holidays. I don't think they were ever quite this long, but, it gives you a chance to kind of be on the road with your road family and try to figure out how to come back, with some wins. And I think the Jazz have an opportunity on the end of the swing here to pick up some.
The Pistons had an awesome performance by one of their young stars, one of the Thompson twins, Alsar Thompson, with really an awesome game the other night when they beat the Heat in overtime. This is a team that's doing, like you said, very similar to the Jazz. They've got a lot of names on this team that could be guys you build around, but also some guys on there that might be trade assets and some value outside of the franchise, and that's something that's hard to deal with. What does Detroit pose in terms of a tough team or a tough matchup for this Jazz team? Because you think about, and I know a bunch of their guys missed some practices yesterday, but I think that a lot of it has to do with the fact that they're also on a tricky schedule as well, kind of doing some back and forth. But what does this Detroit Pistons team do well, and what do you see out of them kind of in the near future? They're trying to do the rebuild thing, and it's taken a long time for them.
Yeah, I mean, that seems to be kind of a theme in this league when you look at teams like Detroit and us. And I think, I guess the positive side is look at what OKC has been able to do in a short period of time. There's a model out there, and it's not foolproof. But at some point, I think all teams kind of go through it, right? You have assets, meaning you have draft picks, you have players who are valuable, and you're trying to in the next 3 to 4 years, build a contender, build a team that is going to get to the playoffs, and then the rest is up to them, and as far as how far they go. But Justin Zanuck and Danny Ainge have talked about it. Talked about the decision to develop young players and try to build something. And you've heard the term, I think Will Hardy may have coined it first, that pups can't raise pups. So you've got a mixture of veterans who have bought into it, but at the same time who understand that they have to go out and perform. I've been traded before. The Jazz traded me to Minnesota during my career, and I understood that I had value. It may not have been necessarily a place I wanted to go, but I knew that I had value, and I had some game left that I could take to Minnesota. So it's a crazy business, man. As a player, you understand what your job is night in, night out, and you can't worry about what you can't control. That's what I always say. You just can't. You've got to go out and play, and everybody's watching you. Everybody's watching you perform as an individual and as a team. Everybody's watching your body language after a loss. They're watching how you lead on the court. So there's a lot going on, right? Especially, when you're losing games, it's really easy to celebrate, and everybody's feeling good when you win. But how do you react, and how do you come back after a loss? And I think that's the similarities between this Pistons team and the Jazz, is that they've got young players who are, trying to build something here in Detroit as well. So with all those ingredients involved, let's see who comes out ready to play tomorrow night.
The Jazz are also going to get a chance to play the Cleveland Cavaliers on the road on this trip, and I'm looking at the standings, Thurl, and they are the best team in the league right now, record-wise, at 23-4. We all thought Donovan Mitchell was going to leave there in free agency and go sign with the Knicks, but that narrative got blown up. He stayed in Cleveland, and now they look like a true contender. What are your thoughts on what Donovan's been able to build there and what that Cavaliers team is doing?
Well, when you talk about developmental teams and developing players, Donovan Mitchell came in. He's one of the rarities, not 100%, but I thought that, his rookie season, he just proved that he had some development, early development of an NBA-ready player. It wasn't perfect, but I thought he did a great job of, getting to a certain point in his individual game and accepting his role with the Jazz. Great player, just a great player. He's definitely a star in this league. But I look at what Cleveland's done since he's been there, and he's just taken them to a whole new level. They've built just an amazing team around him, and that's what you aspire to if you're a team like the Jazz. And I think that on any given night in this league, you can be underestimated, and that's where the Jazz have to find that consistency, is to make a game out of it. But yeah, there's some tough games on this trip. This one tomorrow is not going to be a pushover, but we've got 3 more on this trip, including tomorrow, and then we get touched down a little bit for Christmas, and then back on the road again. So such is the life in the NBA.
Big T, Thurl Bailey joining us here on JJ and Alex as we get you ready for tomorrow's matchup with the Detroit Pistons. A 5 o'clock tip Eastern time. That means a 4 o'clock pregame right here on the SCG Audio Network at 97.5, the KSL Sports Zone. Not for lack of trying, Big T, Adam Silver in the NBA Cup, and they're trying to figure out how to make this thing the best thing that they can. After last night's win for Milwaukee over Oklahoma City, that's as good of a matchup from a talent perspective as you can get, and yet people today going, yeah, the NBA Cup kind of fell flat, and are we going to change cities and blah, blah, blah. And then they also yesterday, on the back of the announcement of the All-Star Game format kind of getting some reaction too, I like the idea of going, let's have a little mini tournament here. Let's have some money on the line. Let's get some captains out there picking. What do you think of that new All-Star format? I know that, KD said he didn't like it. He hated it, whatever. In my mind, I'm going, anything to incentivize these guys to play hard. That's what I think the fan wants to see on an All-Star weekend. But what do you think about the new format that they rolled out for these 4 teams to play 3 games in one night and to basically have these little short games to be able to crown a champion for the NBA All-Star game?
Well, first of all, I like the NBA Cup. I'm not totally sold on its popularity, but I am closer to being a believer. And I think I was the same way about the play-in tournament. I love that now and what it's become. Mm-hmm. But it's all up to the players, right? It really is. As a player, you always want to play for something, and I saw that last night. So I'm on the top side of really liking where it's going, the direction it's going, and the creativity of Adam Silver. But I don't think there's anybody out there that doesn't agree that something's got to be done about the All-Star game.
Yeah.
I just think that, when you're just out there and it's all about showmanship and maybe a player thinking, well, I'm not going to go all out, I'm not going to block a shot. It just takes the fun out of it for a lot of people. So I don't know. I don't know if money does incentivize guys to go out and play hard. They're already making a ton of money. So I'm hoping. I can't really put a judgment on this. I say let's try it and see what it does. It's a new era of basketball, and players. So I don't know. I'm hoping it will incentivize guys to go out and compete. But the jury's still out until we actually kind of see what it looks like.
Yeah, you mentioned this new era of basketball, and it's getting a lot of criticism. And I'm sure you're privy to it. You hear some of it. What are your thoughts on that? And what do you think needs to be done to, I guess, figure out how to reach more people with the game right now? Or is anybody in the league, and you talk to people, really put a finger on why they think that's the case or why the criticism exists, that the game is just – I don't know what the word is, Thurl. You've heard the criticism. What are your thoughts on it?
Well, you're not gonna make everybody happy. I think the game is in great shape.
Yeah.
I don't think there's any question that it's a global game. David Stern put his mark on it and started that, and Adam Silver has taken it to another level. So I think the game is just fine. Look, with the game being global and there's more money in the game and in television, everybody's making a lot of money. So I think the next step really is how do you keep it up there? How do you keep it popular? And so, I really think Adam's doing a great job. He's doing a great job of not letting it get stale. Always thinking about the next thing. From what we're hearing, there'll be 2 new franchises coming up in the next few years. So I think the game's in a good spot. I think there's a few. Obviously, it's not going to be perfect, but there's always things you got to figure out, like the All-Star game, the slam dunk contest, those kind of things that are, on the important scale. Yeah, they're important, but I think just the health of the league. There's some great stars in this league that are doing some amazing things. People come out to watch every single night. So, yeah, I don't think the game's in trouble as much as, people always want more. They want better. And I think Adam's trying to get there.
Big T, Thurl Bailey, nice enough to join us from the hotel there in Detroit as the Jazz take on the Pistons tomorrow night right here on 97.5 the KSL Sports Zone. You can hear that call with, of course, David Locke and then Ron Boone, and, of course, the television side of things with Bowler Jack and Big T, Thurl Bailey. So, Big T, we thanks for you joining us and carving out some time, as always. Very generous with your time, and we appreciate it, man.
Anytime, man. Waiting to see Simone Fontecchio, baby.
Oh, look at that. The old the old throwback. Please come back. There's a lot of fans who are still wishing that thing never went down. But, yeah, Big T, thanks for joining us, man. We'll chat with you again, and safe travels.
All right, guys. Thank you.
There you go.
Thanks, Thurl. Yeah, it's funny because the roster's turned over so much lately, but we've had some really interesting players come in and kind of launched their NBA careers when they've been given an opportunity with this Jazz. And Simone Fontecchio is one of those guys, and so fans appreciate that. Fans appreciate guys like Simone Fontecchio who came out and They weren't highly drafted or highly sought after, and they come out and earn their spot. And he's going to go down as one of those names in franchise history that fans are like, I love Simone Fontecchio. Wish it was a different place and time. He could have been here longer.
Yeah, it's just
that list is growing.
Well, and you're going to see that kind of thing happen too, where you get look. John Collins is endearing himself to people right now, right?
He's the next guy that's probably going to be moved, and you're like, man, John was really good this year, but we're not good, so it's hard to celebrate or it's hard to really enjoy it, and he's not going to be here very long. Like, we all understand what the assignment is, and that's what makes it tough. And that's why it's one of the problems with the NBA. And it's just weird because Thurl is right, Alex. The players, the quality of play in the league is so good that they shoot the three a lot, but they shoot it a lot because they make a lot. You know how hard it is to make an NBA three? And these guys make them like free throws. So, of course, they're going to shoot a lot of it. The players have become so good that the analytics have tried to figure out how to get better, and they're so good it's not like it used to be. Like, it's just different. And plus you're seeing stars age out. LeBron and Steph are getting towards the end of their careers. The game's changing and evolving. And I think one of the biggest problems, the All-Star game's got to get fixed, but the tanking problem has to be addressed. You can't have a league where you're incentivized to be bad.
No.
You can't survive as a league. What other league is a team incentivized to be bad? Name it. That's the case in the NBA, and that's why we're having these conversations.
The NFL's not necessarily incentivized to be bad, but the way they do it is the very worst teams get the very.
They don't even
picks.
need a lottery because, and it's a different game. I get it's apples and oranges. The NFL doesn't even need a lottery because teams aren't trying to lose. You just accept the fact that the worst team with the worst record gets the number one pick, and they'll take Caleb Williams and then try to figure it out. But like nobody's trying to lose in baseball and NHL and NFL to try to get that one player that's going to take them to the promised land. But when you look at history, that doesn't deliver you a championship. There's very few number one overall picks that have won a championship with the franchise that draft them. But that's the incentive in the NBA because everyone's trying to get that superstar. It's not just about the championship. It's about getting the superstar player that's the most marketable, that's going to sell tickets and jerseys, etc. And all these teams are willing to lose and sacrifice seasons to get it.
Yeah, it's
and that sucks for the fans because you won't find a fan base in the NBA that's more passionate about their team than Utah Jazz fans.
Okay, the case in point is the All-Star game, right? Where you're like, how do we get these players to get excited? You're like, get excited about being the best players in the freaking game? And what is it? What are they afraid of? Are they afraid of getting injured? There's all those things there, but what's KD's beef? Why does he hate it so much, this new format of playing these little games? Because he might have to –
Alex, these guys they make how many $50 million a year?
Giannis
how do you
incentivize
make, 80
somebody at the end of his last
to do anything?
Yeah.
When you're unapproachable. That's another problem. How many of these players in this league are approachable? How many? We now have the NHL, and we see the NHL the way it is. It's a different dynamic financially. Mm-hmm. Very approachable guys. It's a different world. And I think some of those things are now working against the NBA, and they're going to have to address them. Because the TV rating, I'm privy to that, the TV ratings aren't good. They're not good. The money's still there. The money is still there because these networks are already committed to it. NBC just committed to the NBA moving forward. These networks are committed. So the money's there. That's not going to change. But the fans' attitudes toward it, long-term, this could damage the league. Not short-term, but long-term.
All right. We'll take the break. We'll come back. We got more to go. Stay here. I wanted to sneak in our a little bit of some props for our road home that we're going to be doing, of course, on Friday. The KSL Sports Zone is going to be supporting the all-day media-thon for the road home, an annual tradition to raise money for essential items for Utah's homeless population. On December 20th, that's Friday, we're going to raise money for this cause. Monetary and in-kind donations are going to be taken during the annual Mediathon to empower the road home to provide shelter and supportive services for overcoming homelessness. So let's get this thing done. Let's do it together. This is a great time of year to do it for folks who are trying to battle this homelessness and trying to get this problem taken care of in their lives. Help us support this cause at the Road Home Mediathon on December 20th. We'll take a break. We'll come back. More to go. Sucks to be you. Next, 97.5 the KSL Sports Zone.
basking in the sports misfortune of others to help make you feel just a little bit better about yourself. As JJ and Alex present,
Yes, we got beat. We got beat badly.
It Sucks to Be You.
All right, yes, sucks to be you on JJ and Alex.
Everything sucks today. Sucks to be the NBA today.
Oh. Why? Just because of the
A lot of criticism.
they're like, this is your product right now, huh?
Now, is it just, a bubble on social media, or is it real criticism? Are people in droves frustrated with the NBA product right now?
So I was listening to a sports podcast that had talked about how when Michael Jordan left, the game had a problem with ratings. And you have to have LeBron has been so good for the NBA because he's been in big markets, or if he hasn't been in the biggest market, he's been winning championships at least. And
he's been a superstar at the highest level consistently for 20 years.
Yeah, and the NBA is going, thank you so much, because the reality is that he kind of took a little bit of a, between the NBA Cup, them being eliminated pretty early on, and trying to get healthy and feel right, like he hasn't been playing for a minute. And guess what? Everybody's wondering what the league's going to look like after LeBron leaves from a who's your hero standpoint, or who's the face of the league standpoint. So the question is, who is the face of the league? Is there a face of the league right now? Is it Wemby? Because the reality is that he didn't really love the spotlight that much. He's not like one of these out of this world electric personalities. You know what I mean? Nikola Jokic, is that the guy you want to hang your hat on? Looks like he just rolled out of bed and he kind of hates every interview that he's in. Like, he seems a little bit more accessible than some people, but at the same time, he doesn't really look like the face of the league that they want.
Well, in the past, a guy like Jokic was a villain.
Oh,
not
yeah.
the star in the face of the league.
Oh,
right?
yeah. I'm trying to think of, like, who are the people that this league is going to be hanging their hat on over the next few years? Is it Giannis? Is it
Giannis has been in the league for a decade.
I know, but I'm saying, like, who are they going to lean to now and go, is it the Celtics? You know what I mean? Like that, they're like glad there's a big market team that's having success. Is it Jason Tatum? Who's the guy who's going to carry your league? It's been LeBron forever, right? I'll tell you who it sucks to be right now is, it sucks to be an NFL quarterback. Well, it sucks to be a quarterback in the league if you suck. So Kirk Cousins today, having some
sucks to be Kirk Cousins.
Having
today.
some look in the mirror moments, right? Who are you, man? Who are you, Kirk? And Kirk Cousins is my favorite sign, by the way. When he was back at Minnesota, were they playing? I think they were playing at Minnesota or something. Maybe the Falcons when they were in town. It was like somebody had a sign up, or at least it was Viking fans that had the signs up that said, "We'll never forget you, Kurt," with a T.
Oh my gosh!
And I know they were. Look,
you're an NFL star quarterback, and they can't even spell your.
Well, that was the whole point.
Your first name is Kirk, and they can't get that right.
But see, that was the point. Is these Vikings fans were like, "Oh yeah, no, we'll never forget all you did for us, Kurt.
Yeah.
You're the best."
Yeah, they really miss him.
They diss on him. No, but the other thing that happens is, a guy like Will Levis today. He goes,
"Yeah, sucks to be
I
him.
still think that I have what it takes to be a franchise quarterback." How about your guy, Jameis Winston?
How many chances do you get in the league
I don't
before
know.
everyone says, you know what, you're not it?
And not everybody is going to be the Baker Mayfield story, right? Not everybody
gets a second
No,
chance.
It almost never happens. And you have to be exceptional to be able to get that shot again. And so, man, all these guys are finding out it's a tough league, man.
Kirk Cousins, by the way, a $180 million contract.
No problem.
9 months later, he's benched. They owe him $27.5 million guaranteed next season.
Well, yeah, because it was $100 million guaranteed overall in the contract.
Yes.
And I'm reading stories already now that say, hey, where are the best landing places for Kirk Cousins in 2025? I'm like, oh, we're already there, huh?
Wow.
It's not like let's get you another spot in the or let's put you somewhere or let's figure it out in the offseason.
He's their Russell Wilson now.
Oh, boy.
So what do you do?
I mean,
$40 million dead cap hit next year.
Oof. That's bad. Yeah. No.
Sucks to be the Falcons.
Sucks to be the Falcons right now. Hey, but it doesn't suck to be Michael Penix Jr., or does it, to get thrust into this role? And by the way, remember when management took him 9th overall, and everyone's like, "Wow, dare you? You just signed a $100 million quarterback who now is worth 0."
Right.
And Penix Jr., at the very least, is a guy that they have a lot of hope in for the future.
It's a sucks to be you for Michael Penix Jr. if they don't make the playoffs. They're a game back of, or is it 2 games back at Tampa?
They're 7-7. I think Tampa's 8-6. I think.
Okay, there you go. There's a game that separates, and only one team out of that division is going to make the playoffs.
Yeah.
There's just no way.
No.
So this could be sucks to be you for Michael Penix Jr. if they don't make the playoffs and he struggles, but he's got a chance to come in now with the team 7-7. If they can flip that, if they get that one win, they're right back in the mix. Because I believe, correct, they swept the Buccaneers this year.
Oh, they may have.
And they would own the tiebreak for the division.
Yep.
So,
there's
there's still a shot.
Yeah, they beat them both times.
There's still a shot if they can make up that game for the Falcons to go to the playoffs. And then if that's the case, then Michael Penix Jr. becomes the savior. He becomes the quarterback that finally breaks through and gets the Falcons back to the playoffs. And now they've got their quarterback of the future who's playing on a rookie deal while they pay out Kirk Cousins. So then they would look pretty smart. But right now, today, sucks to be the Atlanta Falcons.
Hey, by the way, nominate that youth sports volunteer that you know for the Hercules Hero of the Week. You submit that nomination at KSLSports.com/contest, and then you listen every Thursday. And JJ and I roll out a winner for you. So we celebrate the efforts of those volunteers who do an awesome job in their communities. With the Hercules Hero of the Week, it's sponsored by Hercules Credit Union and Beehive Meals. They win a prize from both places. So nominate that youth sports volunteer that you know for the Hercules Hero of the Week. Just go to KSLSports.com/contest. We'll come back. We've got more to go when we return. A couple more updates from the old transfer portal. Transfer portal news should just be an automatic this time of year, so let's do it. That's coming up next, 97.5 the KSL Sports Zone.
Accessing.
When TV and radio collide.
Love it.
This is what you get. You're listening to JJ and Alex, presented by G2G Bars.
Don't touch that thing!
On 97.5, the KSL Sports Zone.
I'm embarrassed now. Our producer, who's much younger than you and I, that's all we'll say about Alex's age. He's all, this is Toto. I got mixed up Toto and Men at Work last segment. He's like, get your 80s bands figured out, Kirry. My apologies. And we're playing this music for a reason, by the way, because right now, caller number 12 to 801-575-ZONE gets a pair of tickets. It's our Win Ticket Wednesday. So you get a pair of tickets to Toto, Men at Work, and Christopher Cross, part of the, what did we call it? It's the Yacht Rock Tour 2025. We didn't call it that. That's what it says.
That's what it's called.
Come on. August 27th at the the Utah First Credit Union Amphitheater. Tickets on sale now. LiveNation.com. It's waiting there for you. Gosh, what are we, PK? My apologies.
Drag me away from you.
Yeah. No, and
there's
like
nothing that 100 men or
boy,
more could ever do.
Oh, I thought it was. Here's the thing: is when I was a kid, and again, I had all the Billboard top 10 hits, all those CDs. And that one was, I think that one got to number 2 or 3 on the Billboard top 10 list of whatever year it was, 84, 85.
Total, Africa?
Yeah.
1982.
82.
Yes.
So it's like it got up to a pretty high, like 2 or 3 on the Billboard, because I had the top 10 of every year, and they're all color coded. The CDs, the Billboard CDs were 1980 through 1989.
That's cool.
Top 10s. I know. That's the kind of stuff. Again, when my CD sleeve was stolen out of my truck when I was in high school, devastated.
That's a big loss.
Yeah, you may as well have just
all my yacht rock the window.
All my Depeche Mode.
All your butt rock out the window.
all
your
my,
grunge out the window.
The funny thing was, what was the very first CD that you bought, by the way?
Pearl Jam 10.
Pearl Jam 10.
Mm-hmm.
Stone Temple Pilots Core for me. So kind of in the same vibe.
Yeah.
In the same
old Pearl Jam versus Stone Temple Pilots.
Well,
debate.
I mean, like I did it because I had all those same albums, but I think the actual first CD that I bought
first one was Stone Temple.
The actual CD. I remember getting it at Target.
I stole mine from Columbia House.
Look, you still owe money on that thing. They're calling you right now.
Don't tell anybody.
Dude, the collections agency has just figured out.
Are they
there
even still
he
in
is.
business?
That Jeremiah.
Oh, he's on the radio?
Get 100 CDs for 20 cents.
We're getting that guy.
Get out of here.
I'm in trouble.
Utah landing a couple of more transfers. Did I give that phone number out, by the way, to win those Men at Work and Christopher Cross and Toto tickets? 801-575-ZONE. If you want to be calling number 12, we'll give you a pair of those tickets.
Why aren't we doing transfer portal at 50 updates?
Honestly, like this time of year, it might be worth it.
Okay, this is your transfer portal at
What do we
5
have?
o'clock update.
Give me something here.
Utah just landed a Tulsa wide receiver.
This is
6'2", 195 pounds, Joseph Williams.
Most generic name you could ever hear. But
Well,
guess
they
what?
have a history with Joe Williams.
Oh, yes, they do. And
So-
on top of it, but a big target, 6'2", 195. He was the AAC Freshman of the Year. Do with that information what you will. Whether or not that pans out, but I'm telling you, adding some – he had 600 yards receiving, 5 touchdowns on 30 catches. Not bad. So bring him in. They have 9 that have come into the program from the transfer portal. So, by the way, if you're wondering where Cam Calhoun was ending up, we were talking about how apparently Alabama was flirting, and Alabama it is.
Wow. But
Listen,
they don't have any money. That's what we've been told.
Oh, that's my favorite.
We'll get to that later in
Hey,
the show.
you guys. It's just like it's like going to an old.
It's like a preacher that's on the.
Hey, we just need you guys. We need to get us over the top. We're trying to get ourselves a brand new stage up here, a brand new drummer for the band up here in the church band. And I just am feeling. I feel like we need to get a few extra dollars out of you because we need your help. We need your support. That's Alabama right now. Peter Lemongello, your house is on fire.
We're going out there in the transfer portal. We're trying to make your team the better team. But we can't do that without your donation.
You know what? Alabama is officially the righteous gemstones of.
We've been giving kids the bag for years, but now everyone's got a bag. We need a bigger bag. We need you.
So Michigan famously has a $19 billion endowment.
Oh, my gosh.
They have just had the guts to ask for $100 million for some new research facility that they're trying to build.
Oh, my gosh.
It's not even football related. All right.
Someone's going to pay for it for them.
Here's what we're going to do. So, by the way, Cam Calhoun, he's going to Alabama. Blake Cotton, a cornerback. We were talking about they signed another cornerback who was also 6'3". They have 2 guys just in the last 2 days who they've signed who are both 6'3" cornerbacks. The era of the big corner is alive and well, especially at Utah. So you're getting some big DBs coming into the program, and that's a good thing considering that you lost a couple big ones. And Cam Calhoun, I mean, look, if Alabama comes calling or if Alabama money comes calling, I'd have a hard time not leaving too.
Alabama money's not apparently what it used to be.
Well, and he might. You know what's interesting
Inflation's
about that?
been tough on Alabama money.
You can go to Alabama, Cam Calhoun. Will we ever see you play on the field?
Probably
at
not.
Alabama. That's a hard thing to do. All right. We're here at the Doug Smith Mitsubishi in American Fork. We'll take another break. We'll come back. We've got more. Aaron Roderick, his media availability on the way up to the BYU versus Colorado Alamo Bowl. Ooh, my inbox got hit with all sorts of stuff you can buy to get yourself ready, BYU fans. For gear, some Alamo Bowl gear. So there you go. We'll come back. We'll listen to what A-Rod said about – and it's not just about the bowl game, by the way. It's about the possibility of guys who could stay, guys who could leave the program, on top of their needs in the transfer portal, all that stuff. So stay right here, 97.5 EKSL Sports Zone.